Natural Health and Healing Show with one of New England's leading nutritionists, Mark Mincola. The show is brought to you by the Good Health Stores in Hanover and Quincy. Call Mark at 781-837-4900 with your health and nutrition questions. Now, here's Mark.
Good evening and welcome. And we have a very interesting program for you this evening. We have a couple folks in studio that are going to be kicked off, preempted, if you will, by Catherine.
Good afternoon.
From Jara Formulas. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Great, great. We missed you last week.
I missed you guys as well.
I know you had plenty to do.
Yeah, I was doing Excel spreadsheets.
A much-needed night off, I guess we could call that, right?
Yeah.
So what's happening these days with Jara Formulas?
We are still coming out with lots of new products. We have one that I brought you because I know that you're really going to like it. It's a new CoQ10 that's formulated with vitamin K and fish oils.
Wow.
So it's a real cardiovascular.
Fantastic.
Q10.
CoQ10, 100 milligrams, and vitamin K2, 20 micrograms, EPAs from fish oils, 300 milligrams, vitamin E, 6 IUs, and actually has D-limonene in there as well.
Yeah, yeah.
For a little antioxidant boot.
Yep.
Very nice, very good. And, you know, I think, now correct me if I'm wrong, there are at least 3 different forms of CoQ10 that Jara formulates now, is that right?
Yeah.
And obviously there's a strong commitment to really advancing the awareness of the importance of CoQ10.
Right.
So why don't you help us kind of tune into that just a wee bit?
Well, CoQ10 is a cellular antioxidant. It helps quench free radicals like LDL cholesterol, and it's great for energy, so it oxygenates the cells as well. Typically, as we age, our CoQ10 saturation in our tissues drops by about 30 to 40%, depending what tissue we're talking about. In the lungs, it drops to about 40%. In the heart, it drops about 35%. So that's why we find compounding issues with age and your antioxidant status with CoQ10. So it's really important, just as an anti-aging factor, to start taking CoQ10, but then also if you do have cardiovascular disease, to use CoQ10 very efficiently, just to, have it as part of your regimen, like 300 milligrams a day. And, one of the things is that cardiologists will always tell you that the first sign of cardiovascular disease is, unfortunately, a heart attack. So it's something that we just really, the diagnostics are just really not there yet to be able to give you those indicators. That's
a powerful indictment as to how poorly we are executing the preventive art of wellness as far as the heart disease issue goes. It sounds like we're really not getting it done, and CoQ10 is, as we all know, a really important part of that equation.
Absolutely. And the information that you hear from this industry and on the show, listening to you, is really, it's really important. And as we all saw this week, the problem with the bisphosphonates A in the plastics, the baby bottles and the Nalgene bottles, and we've been saying this stuff for years. So it's really great to see the stuff in popular media and the scientists finally, getting to the point where they're corroborating a lot of what we have said about, the chemicals in our environment and our diet. So it's really important. The information is clear and concise, and, it's unfortunate that 15 years later or 10 years later they finally catch up with it and people have already gotten overexposed and,
She is Catherine Foley, of course, from Jara Formulas, and she's become family here on the Natural Health and Healing Show. And the question that I would pose to you, thinking about the average radio listener out there to the program this evening, is who should take it other than those folks? What if somebody says, geez, I just got a checkup and my heart's doing great, thank God, and I'm strong enough to be able to jog long distances and I eat pretty well. Right. Is CoQ10 for me?
Yeah, absolutely. There's lots of things that CoQ10 can do, and it's just basically building up your antioxidant reserves. Dr. Paris Kidd, an amazing scientist that does so much research on cognitive function, the phospholipids, has always said that the balance of health rests on our antioxidant reserve versus our free radical exposure. And, our exposure out there is so intense that we're just starting to find out how many heavy metals, how many toxins are in our bodies. So, it's one of those things where you're eating well, you're living well, and you have a fair amount of energy, but you just don't know a lot of what's going on inside. So CoQ10 is just such a broad range antioxidant, and it does so much for all of the systems in your body. It's a very basic, mitochondrial cellular antioxidant.
So now with folks out there listening who are obviously tuned into the importance of CoQ10, not just to prevent heart disease, but to really support immunity and to really make the immune system function more efficiently and to more efficiently deliver oxygen to those cells, etc. So with that awareness, now there's so many different formulations. Even with Jarrow, there's 3 of them. So the average guy and gal out there is going to say, well, which one do I take and why? What should they look for?
Well, I recommend for people to just start off with the basics. So our basic is CoQ10 Q Absorb, and we have a 30 milligram or 100 milligram, and I typically recommend just starting off with a 100 milligram dose and trying it out, and then if you do have some sort of clinical problem, some cardiovascular issues, we have another product called QH Absorb. It's a reduced form of CoQ10, so it gets into the system easier. It's reduced, so it doesn't depend on your body's ability to reduce it on its own. So if you have some sort of illness or cardiovascular disease that's already compromising your system, that won't compromise your CoQ10 absorption.
So it's easier to absorb?
Yeah.
So for those folks out there who may not be as strong or as healthy, an easier absorption.
Yeah, it's like the QH Absorb is like gunpowder. It's like you can really feel it. Right?
Now, and that's the next question, of course, is if someone were to really take that, what would they feel?
Well, they're going to feel a lot of energy, and what I usually say is that when I take CoQ10, I'm on the road all day, and I come home and I have work and emails to do, in my office afterwards, and I usually find when I take CoQ10, I don't have that kind of like, I just want to crash feeling. And if you're feeling that, there's something wrong. You should be energetic, and then to the point where you can go to sleep and sleep well, and things like that.
And of course, everybody out there is saying, which one is that? Which CoQ10 is that? I want that one.
Yeah, it's just, I just take the regular 100 milligram Q Absorb. So I did take the QH Absorb once, and I took it when I was at Jarrow Formulas with my coworkers, and all of my coworkers were taking 3, and so I'm like, okay, I'll take 3.
Sleeping twice a week.
Well, and a lot of them are twice as big as I am, and they do a lot of body work and exercising, and they're pretty big guys, and 3, my lung capacity opened so much. I was breathing so deep, I had to actually just go lay down, and I was just like, oh my god, my fingers were tingling, and there was so much oxygen getting into my system. And when I was younger, I had asthma. And so I don't think I realized that my lung capacity was not at full capacity until I felt what it felt like to breathe again.
Well, then is it fair to say that folks out there who are exhausted and fatigued more than they should be and really looking for a solution might try some CoQ10?
Absolutely.
And something that obviously you noticed it right away.
Yeah. You
got an energy boot. All right, so what else is happening these days at Jarrow? Any interesting new formulas or any kind of new research that's going on out there? I know there's always something around the corner with Jarrow. Well,
we are doing really well with our probiotic product, and our probiotic product, Femdophilus, it just got another kind of national recognition award for women's health. And, it's the research that backs up that product as well. So Dr. Gregor Reed, the researcher from Scotland, was just recently recognized for his work on Femdophilus in treating women's health. It was for, yeast infections and bacterial infections, and he runs a nonprofit organization in South Africa teaching women in villages how to make yogurt cultures with these bacteria. And they did a very small preclinical study, and these women are living with HIV, and they saw their CD4 counts rise by like 4 or 5%, and they're not taking drugs. So they saw their CD4 counts rise with just that probiotic.
Well, that's fantastic. So the friendly bacteria was really increasing immunity in a quantifiable way.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
And that program is called Milk Mothers, and he got, really great recognition for it. So we're really lucky at Jaro that we get to work with folks like Dr. Gregor Reed or Jean-Paulo Lautaro on our CoQ10. So, and that's all Jaro. He's like, I want to make a CoQ10, bring the man to me that knows how to do
fantastic.
it. So.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So folks are interested in maybe looking into the Get Down to Good Health Natural Foods. They can ask questions about some of these Jaro formulas. And one of them is the EPS system, the Extended Probiotic System.
That product is unstoppable.
I love that product. I think that's one of the most remarkable products that Jaro formulates.
We sell so much of it. I don't know what people are doing with it. It's like,
what they're doing is they're preventing bacterial infections with it.
Yeah, it is just amazing. What happens out there is that people have been taking other probiotic products, and then they start taking the Jarodophilus and start having results that they've never seen before,
absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
And so, all of a sudden it just takes over in the department, and, it's even with the staff members, it's their go-to product. So, we're really lucky. And again, it's that clinical efficacy. With dietary supplements, we have the research, we have the science to back it up now. And, these products are sustainable, they're good for your health, they have good side effects. They don't have negative side effects. So it's overall an amazing opportunity.
Incredible company. Why don't you give out the website of Jaro Formulas? Folks might want to take a peek.
Yeah, Jaro Formulas is JARROW.com.
Great.
So it's really easy, and we just posted up a reading room up there with lots of science articles, clinical studies for people to access and download and share with people. So. Well,
Catherine Foley from Jaro Formulas.
Jaro Girl.
The Jaro Girl. Thanks so much for coming in, and it's great to have you back.
Thank you.
We'll see you next week.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thank you so much. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back. Right in our area, we are fortunate to have one of the top martial arts schools in the country, Personal Best Karate. Personal Best has been recognized for their community involvement, professional staff development, character building programs, and exciting educational curriculum. Personal Best stands at the top of their industry. 5 locations offering personalized professional instruction. Not sure if karate is right for you? At no obligation, the staff at Personal Best will guide you in a private introductory program to see if karate is indeed the right fit to help you achieve your goals and meet your needs. What does karate at Personal Best teach you? Character building, success habits, helps you get in shape, relieve stress, self-control, setting goals, and, of course, self-defense. Personal Best's goal is to create successful, contributing members of society through the practice of the martial arts at Personal Best. Mr. Chris Rappold is, of course, the founder of Personal Best Karate. He tells me his greatest joy of all is to see the personal transformation in each and every student. Bring out your best with Personal Best Karate. Telephone number 508-285-5425. That's 508-285-5425. Locations in Norton, Foxborough, Southeaston, Franklin, and Taunton. That's Personal Best Karate. This segment is being sponsored by Good Health Natural Foods. Good Health is a well-established organic specialty food market as well as a vitamin and sports nutrition shop. Good Health is a family-owned business passionately committed to giving back to the neighborhoods of Boston and the South Shore. The Maturos and the entire Good Health family continue to make an indelible impact on the communities they serve. There are currently 2 extraordinary stores, 1627 Hancock Street, Quincy, Mass., and 219 Columbia Road, Route 53 in Hanover, Mass. For everything natural, organic, and wheat or gluten-free, it's Good Health Natural Foods, open 7 days a week. In Quincy, 617-773-4925, and Hanover, 781-826-0808. That's Good Health natural foods. Alrighty, welcome back in, and you may be aware that the American College of Nurse Midwives is holding their 53rd annual meeting and exposition in Boston, and that'll be from May 23rd through the 29th at the Heinz Convention Center. Over 2,000 midwives from across the country will convene to learn the latest in women's health care. Each year the group meets and has their annual convention. It's the leading educational forum on all aspects of women's health. And in studio we have Annie Massid and Agnes Densmore here, both midwives, and here to talk a little bit about the upcoming meeting as well as a lot of other interesting things. Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Delighted to be here.
Great to have you here. And how's Dennis?
No, Dennis is fine.
Great.
Yes.
Dennis, I know you're out there, so it'd be great to see you one of these fine days. I miss seeing you here in the studio. So let's talk a little bit about, first of all, the upcoming event. Mm-hmm. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, like you said, there are 2,000 midwives throughout from the United States are coming to convene. And what's special about this year is that we're having a Women's Health Expo. It's open to the public. It's free, and it's very interactive. We're promoting midwifery as women, midwives who give primary health care services across the lifespan. And there'll be film festivals. Mayor Thomas Menino is going to be there, as well as book signings and free health screenings, and the opportunity to talk to some midwives in different booths.
Great.
Of interest, I'm sorry to interrupt, but the business of being born, Ricky Lake's birth documentary, that's part of the film festival. And we should mention that this is from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on May 24th at the Heinz Convention Center. So 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. May 24th, a free, absolutely free Women's Health Expo.
Fantastic. Well, for those folks who are out there who may need some degree of clarification, what really is the task of a midwife? What is it all about?
Well, women take care of, or rather midwives take care of women who are well, and that's either pregnant or non-pregnant. So if you think about it, pregnancy is not an illness. I mean, most of the time when you go to the doctors, it's because something's wrong with you. But if you're pregnant, something is right with you.
Right.
And so midwives really specialize in the area of normalcy, the things that are normal with women. That's the other notable thing about women, is that we have annual checkups, not because we're sick, but it's maintenance.
Wellness visits.
We have wellness visits. So the entire field of midwifery is really focused around the normal physiological events that women have going on during their lives. And so that's what we really love to do. We really love to support the health care of women with education and emotional support as we are delivering their sort of health maintenance visits, whether it's for gynecology, we do annual Well Women events, but also for pregnancy care. And then we actually attend the deliveries of women either in the hospital, and a small percentage of those births also occur outside the hospital. Annie?
Yes, 98% of all deliveries are in the hospital by certified nurse midwives, and 1% are at home, and 1% are in alternative birth centers. So there are 2 birth centers in the state of Massachusetts, Cambridge, and also North Shore Birth Center.
So we actually, I have 3 children. Second one was born at home with midwives. It was the most remarkable experience. One of the really most amazing things that I have ever gone through. Is wonderful. Yeah, it can spectacular. But again, for those folks out there that may not be as familiar as I am, why should a woman choose a midwife? What's the rationale behind that?
Well, we're like Agnes says, we're trained in normalcy and we really appreciate the normal processes of women as they go through the life cycles. But we also have the opportunity to have intervention if we need to, and also have the technology of current and potential health problems that may occur. And we also have the ability to consult, collaborate, and refer to other health care providers as needed. So you're getting hands-on, you're getting special attention, because we look at the entire woman and their family, and we like to develop relationships with our woman, and so that continues on, and so then it's just more personal. The patients are more satisfied.
Well, the thing that I can attest to is it's the entire energy of the experience is so much more. It's so much more peaceful. It's so much more warm. It's so much more comfortable and comforting for everybody.
Right.
And I kind of felt like at the end of that experience, I sort of felt like I knew each one of those midwives for many, many years.
Right.
It's a great bonding experience, I think, that you go through. And the other part of it is I felt remarkably impressed with how efficient everybody's knowledge and everybody's ability to perform and the system that they had in place. Plenty of backup. And, so for those folks out there who might say, geez, as far as the TLC, sure, that makes sense, but I'm a little squeamish about what, about the backup and about making sure that everything goes all right. But, geez, I'll tell you, I couldn't speak enough about it. It was absolutely... It was not only comforting but reassuring.
Yeah, just be reminded that we're nurses. We've gone on for further studies. It could be a graduate program of 2 years, postgraduate, and we have to take an examination, and it has to be, and we have to have accredited schools. We have to take an examination, and we all have to, comply to the standards that the college provides.
And the vast majority, we said 98% of nurse midwives deliver or attend deliveries in the hospital, and that is usually with a collaborative practice, meaning that the care is interwoven with that of physicians. The physicians may not ever be seen by the woman, but they are around, and so that same warm, comforting feeling that you observed in the birth of your own child at home, we provide that actually within the confines of a hospital. So you can have in one room a very highly technical birth going on. In the next room you can have a birth attended by a midwife, and which can be very quiet, very comforting, and one in which all members of the family are really integrated into that experience. So the fathers who are present at the deliveries in the hospital also report a lot of similar things that you just reported, that they just never thought that birth could be this way, and they were just so happy. I should also say, I just think women crave information. And I don't know that the established medical format really acknowledges that. Most OB visits in a physician's office are filler, meaning that the meat of their schedule is the sick patients, and the OB patients are sandwiched in between. And they're lucky if they can get 30 seconds with their whoever is supposed to be seeing them. Women want to ask questions. They want to be educated. They want to express their worries. Those are all things that are accompanying what is a normal process. They're not sick, but they have a lot of questions.
No question about it. Well, one burning question, of course, that has certainly been on the minds of many of us is that there are factors associated, of course, with the increased C-section rate these days. Talk to that, if you would, please. What's going on with the increase in C-sections?
Well, just a little information. In 1970, the C-section rate was 5.2%, and now it's about over 30% of all births. Yeah, and of that 30%, 62% are primary procedures. And to give even more perspective, worldwide it's 15% of all births are delivered through cesarean.
Africa, 3.3%, right?
Yeah.
African.
Well, that could be a lot of reasons for Africa, but
they may not have it available, but that's true.
That's true. Yeah.
But that gives you the range.
Yeah. But again, the average person out there listening this evening is saying, what is the reason for that? What would you suggest?
Well, I think there are a lot of reasons why that could happen. When something like this happens, you have to look at what's happening in society. Things definitely affect what goes on in policy making and in regards to what the public wants and what they're actually doing, and Agnes is going to talk about that. But the four most common reasons are failure to progress in labor and previous C-section, non-reassuring fetal heart rate tracing, and fetal malpresentation. So if I just talked about the non-reassuring fetal heart rate tracing, because usually when you come into the hospital, what happens? You put on the monitor and you base a lot. Most often you stay on the monitor and you look at the baby. But actually the fetal monitoring was developed for high-risk pregnancies. It wasn't for low risk or normal pregnancies. And so before they actually determined the benefit for normal labor, they just began, the hospitals began to use that just universally. And so what happens is that decisions are made based on what you're seeing on the fetal monitoring that may more drastic decisions are being made for non-reassuring fetal heart rate tracing, which probably could have, if it wasn't there, the baby would be fine just by listening to it through a dot tone, like your wife probably had in the second delivery. So,
but I don't know, Annie. You do deliveries at Boston Medical
right.
And I attend deliveries at South Shore Hospital. Now, I will say that with fetal monitoring,
it's different.
We have the option of doing intermittent monitoring at South Shore Hospital. So it's very surprising. I mean, we can have a lot of very low-tech births there. But the term was non-reassuring fetal heart rate status, and that's the electronic fetal monitoring. And I think the question has to be, who's not reassured? And I think at the heart of this rising cesarean rate is that physicians are very fearful of litigation. And they just simply do not want to incur risk. And this is not a bash to the physician. This is really a societal thing, because it's true. There are a lot of what I would term frivolous lawsuits out there. Malpractice is at an all-time high for physicians, to the point, I think it's about somewhere between $80,000 and $100,000 a year for a physician's malpractice.
Incredible.
That's before their salary. That's before anything. So you think about the number of patients that they have to see just to pay the malpractice.
Amazing stuff. We're speaking with Annie Massad and Agnes Densmore, both certified nurse midwives. And, of course, we're also talking about the upcoming May 24th Women's Health Expo. And we'll be back with them. We're going to take a short break. Stay right where you are.
Hi, this is Catherine from Jaro Formulas. We're happy to announce our new partnership with Dr. Mark Mincola. When we started out in this industry, our intentions were to bring good quality nutrition, cutting-edge science, and reasonably priced products to the market, and also encourage people to take an active role in their own health and wellness. Jaro Formulas has been in business for over 20 years and is considered an industry leader. Jaro is incredibly active in consumers' rights to access dietary supplements and creating good quality manufacturing standards for our industry. When we first met Dr. Mincola, we knew that we had a true partner and an ally in the mission of creating a happy, healthy, and wealthy New England through the sharing of knowledge and enthusiasm for health and healing. And we're excited for the world of knowledge that there is that we can share with you all. As we take this journey together with great partners, great energy, and looking forward to a great future for all of those that are encouraged to come along.
Your health is important. Sort out fact from fiction in a relaxed and entertaining setting at the free Women's Health Expo on Saturday, May 24th. This interactive women's health experience is free and open to the public. Event highlights include free health screenings, book signings, door prizes, personal discussions with the nation's leading women's health experts, and over 200 unique health products. A free film festival will feature Ricky Lake's new birth documentary, The Business of Being Born. You can also meet certified nurse midwives, talk to student midwives, and experience what you'll learn in midwifery school at the Become a Midwife Forum from 9 to 11 a.m. The Women's Health Expo is from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Saturday, May 24th at the John B. Hines Veterans Memorial Convention Center in Boston. Women of all ages and their families are encouraged to attend. Learn more about the Women's Health Expo at midwife.org/am. That's midwife.org/am.
Alrighty, welcome back in. We're with Annie Massad and Agnes Densmore, certified nurse midwives, and we're speaking, of course, about the American College of Nurse Midwives, May 24th Women's Health Expo at the Hines Convention Center. But before we do that, you know who's here at this time. It's Candida time.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
Hey.
My daughter made her first communion today.
Oh,
so
congratulations.
sweet. Yeah, so nice.
Your oldest.
Your oldest.
Mm-hmm.
Isabel.
Yep.
Such a little lady.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I went down to Good Health. I tried to find some products that went along with the show tonight, and I met with Diane, and she recommended, of course, by JR Formulas, the probiotics for women's health, the Femdophilus.
Yep.
And there's actually a great article in Healthy Living about the whole product line this last issue, so recommend folks check it out online. It's healthylivingvideo.com if they want to read up on that. And then DHA by Nordic Natural, which supports,
is, of course, from fish oils.
That's right. Supports brain, nervous system, and visual functioning. I'm sure you could elaborate on that.
I think you did very well.
Thank you very much. Did my homework today. Thanks, Catherine. No.
A quick tutorial out in the hallway.
And then the Super Nutrition, which is a prenatal blend that makes great prenatal blends, is Super Nutrition. It's supernutritionusa.com if folks want to check out information about that. But it's a food-based multivitamin enriched with organic green foods and herbs. So they recommend that prenatal.
Great stuff.
Pre and post, actually.
Yes.
I took those. I love them.
And the DHAs are, of course, the Nordic Naturals, are they not?
Yes.
The isolated DHA. The one thing we can mention, too, about those products, a number of women who've already got little Kit Kats at home who may be concerned about things, like a lot of folks who are concerned about attention deficit and that sort of stuff. And there have been a number of different remarkable studies, one by Dr. John Ott from California, who tells us that DHA is the key ingredient to settling down those lack of focus problems and those restless attention problems. And the DHAs that are developed by that particular company, the Nordic Natural Company, are actually made in a variety of different flavors and chewables and all that sort of thing. And and really accessible product for kids, because it's tough to get a child a real good delivery of DHA. But these folks have really broken them down and emulsified them and made the orange and cherry flavors and all that sort of stuff. And we've recommended those to a lot of children who were diagnosed. He will pay far better attention after he gets a couple DHAs.
No, seriously, he has adult ADD.
Well, we got to get him some DHA.
Yeah, he wouldn't. He ejected the fish oil from his little box that I gave him.
But these Nordic Natural flavors are really great.
They're good. My kids actually chew them.
They're like that.
You can chew them.
Yeah, they're terrific.
They are great.
So Good Health Natural Foods is where now? Go ahead.
In Hanover and Quincy. Why don't you give them
219 Columbia Road. That's Route 53 down in Hanover. 781-826-0808. But they've also got a store north of there in a town called Quincy. And that's right on 1637 Hancock, and you can call them there at 617-773-4925. Good Health Natural Foods, you betcha. And you got a couple other things you want to mention?
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely excited about the May 24th at the Haynes Convention Center. They're going to be doing the Women's Health Expo. And Catherine and I actually have a booth, so we're going to be down there.
Oh, good.
I, in the words of Johnny Carson, did not know that.
Yes, we're going to have your books, and Catherine's going to have lots of samples for folks. So we're really looking forward to it.
Thank you so much. How nice of you guys.
Yeah,
I didn't even know all that.
And I'll be working there.
Great.
We'll all be there. Having a good time.
Yeah, actually, they have a lot of, they have booths, Ask a Midwife booth on adolescent care, perimenopausal care, pregnancy. Those are the three major. So you can just go up to this booth, and there's a midwife there who will...
Like, ask the midwife.
Yeah,
that's wonderful.
That is what we call user-friendly.
Yeah.
That's it.
And you've got, I think, a film fest of some kind coming up.
Yes, we have the film festival coming up, which is May 15th at the Duxbury Performing Arts Center. This is sponsored by Healthy Living, but the Luna Bar, you've heard of the Nutrition Bar for Women, which is, I should have put that on my list for folks who might not know about it. They make a great nutrition bar for women. And they've been sponsoring this film festival for 7 years, and Healthy Living is lucky enough to be one of the sponsors.
Fantastic. And you do such a great job organizing it, and it's growing in leaps and bounds, and you deserve a great deal of credit for it.
So we're going to be showcasing the films at the Duxbury Performing Arts Center, and from 6 to 8 we're going to have all local vendors, artists, healers come down, get a massage,
a fun experience,
Reiki,
too. A great experience.
And then from 8 to 8:30 we have Persephone's Daughters. They're a all-female a cappella choir that's going to be singing some uplifting songs for us. And then the films will play.
Good show.
Yeah. And you have a big event June 5th coming up.
June 5th at the Company Theater in Norwell.
Mark has his debut album coming out.
Oh, really?
Well, it's a healing CD album of 8 different songs, and well, this will be our third Sound and Light healing presentation, where we've integrated sound and light, and they go right up the scale, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And we've sort of coordinated or linked up the sound and light vibrations. So people are going to be bathed in sound and light vibrations with healing songs. We have a PowerPoint slideshow we're creating a very powerful healing environment.
I've been to one of yours. It's been quite the experience.
Well, thank you so much. Well, hopefully you'll come to this one.
Yeah, right.
And that's going to be June 5th. And that's going to be at the Company Theater. Folks, of course, want to know more about either the Luna Fest or the June 5th presentation. You can call Candida at what number again?
781-834-2728. There's also a icon there for the Women's Expo right on the homepage.
Oh, good.
So folks could click right on all 3 of those banners and check out all events. We hope to see you at all of them.
There we go.
Thank you so much, Candida.
Thank you,
Candida. Excellent. All right, good luck, ladies.
Have a great night. Thank you.
Candida.
All right, we've been chatting a little bit about that event, the May 24th event. One of the things that really piqued my interest is you said there's going to be some health screenings there. Talk to me a little bit about those health screenings.
The health screening is put on by the public health department, and I think it's mostly going to be cholesterol and blood pressure and nutrition consulting and discussion. So not no mammograms or anything like that.
Well, and there's another burning question. How much in your practices really does nutrition play a significant role in that? We have a lot of folks who listen faithfully to this program each week and are very, very keen on nutrition and are going to know if that plays a significant role in either your practices.
That's a good question.
Why don't you start off telling us a little bit about what
we're lucky because pregnancy is a great opportunity to teach women about some basic, nutritional components of diet, and unfortunately I'm seeing more and more women who are overweight, and so it's a great opportunity to spend time. I spend quite a bit of time on each visit about their weight and diet and talking about what's going on. We do refer them to the nutritionist 2 times throughout their pregnancy. So it's a good opportunity.
And your practice as well, I know, Agnes, both of you folks are really very keen on nutrition. Talk a little bit about the nutrition connection in your work.
I would say yes during pregnancy, but even more so on the annual visits. I have been in this practice now for 16 years, so I have seen women come over many of them every one of those 16 years. And I always flip back and look at their weight.
Right.
from the previous couple of years, and their blood pressure. And, weight is extremely sensitive with women.
Sure, of course.
So but it's sort of a universal concern with women. So, with many of the women, some of them have come back and said, yeah, I lost 40 pounds. It was all because of what you said. And then I will say, what did I say?
Tell me again.
Tell me, I need to hear. Exactly, what did I say? But it is, I consider myself sort of a co-laborer in this health, this health journey, and I commiserate with the women, but I also share with the women a lot of things that I found out for myself, in terms of health and dieting, or what will help them feel better, nutritional supplements, and a lot of times it's the right time. I mean, I might see a woman every year for 4 or 5 years, and I know she really needs to hear things about her weight, but she's not ready. And then one year she'll come in and she's ready. And she's ready to have somebody come alongside her and say, absolutely, just this is the time. You can do this.
And over the 16 years that you've been practicing, would you say that in general the women that you counsel have in general gotten healthier, better informed, or not so?
I would say it's all over the map. Mm-hmm. I would say that it depends on the individual woman, how motivated she is, what's going on in her life. I mean, it's not a one-dimensional thing, and that's the thing is, you'll see women who are single, then they get married, then they have kids, and then they've got all those stresses of the kids, and then they blow up with pregnancy, and then they come in and say, I hate myself, I'm fat, and so then there are other women who are very good at doing what they do, but it's a continual dialogue. It never ends. Mm-hmm. Never ends.
I would guess that in general they're better informed than they were 16 years ago, but maybe more stressed.
Well, I think the health providers are better informed too, and they're spending more time on nutrition. I think as the public, you're hearing more about obesity as being one of the major. So I think as you hear it from the midwife, you might hear it from other people that on the TV or in school, and because my population is very different. So it's just, and they seem to be very open to talking about it. So it's great. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, except for the adolescents. I have to tell them to eat by color. Okay, can we start with colors? Now, what about green? Okay, I want you to get some vegetables that are green. Is it grape?
Does that count? Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
Honest to goodness.
That's funny. Well, the other important question, too, that I have is not every nurse midwife practices exactly the same way.
That's right.
So I'd like you to both talk a little bit about the distinctions between some of your procedures and some of your policies and some of your practice.
Yeah. Well, I work at Boston Medical Center, so it's a large organization. It's an educational, it's affiliated with BU. And there it's a large practice. There's about 15 midwives, and we see patients throughout the Boston, the different health centers. And so a lot of our patients are recent immigrants that have come into the country or are disenfranchised. So, and then when they come in, we are also involved in teaching because we're experts on normal. We are involved in teaching medical students in the first year residence on normal vaginal birth, as well as many other projects that we're all involved in. Some of them are educational, but centering pregnancy, which is a new paradigm. It's group prenatal care. We're instituting that throughout the health centers. We also involved in birth sister program, which we've trained women from the community to be birth sisters or doulas, and they're come in with women with similar backgrounds to help them in the labor. And there's lactation consultants and peer counselors who actually do home visits to help women continue the breastfeeding. So we're working on the breastfeeding. So, so it's very active, it's very involved.
Sure.
We're always interacting as a team with the physicians. We love our physicians, and it's great that they're available to help us, and we help them.
And a remarkably broad spectrum of support is what I pick up.
Right, exactly.
Mm-hmm. And what about you, Agnes?
Well, I am in private practice here on the South Shore. The name of our practice is South Shore Midwifery. And it's very much different than what Annie has just described, because it is private practice, so it's driven in a different manner, and that is that women self-select to come to us. We're a small practice because on the South Shore here, in the 16 years since I've been here, there have been many female physicians who have come to the South Shore Hospital. There was also another larger group of midwives who were there. So in terms of the style of care, though, it's a lot more intimate, I would say. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's all I can think of is a place where everybody knows your name, basically.
Well, there's a personal connection there.
There's a lot of personal connection. There's a lot of, we sink down roots because we take care of the community. Mm-hmm. So we have the sort of middle-class women. And honestly, some of them come initially to see the doctor in our practice and end up on the midwife schedule for convenience sake. And basically they'll say, I don't know what a midwife is, but I just want to know, can I have my epidural? And we say, sure, you can have your epidural. Huh. But in the course of the pregnancy, they begin to learn a different style of healthcare delivery that is more relational, where somebody does know your name and somebody does look at you in the eye and listen to your questions. And so they have become won over to the midwifery model, which is the relational, informational, supportive model of normalcy. And so it's now, as far as all the support that Annie just described, I would say that we have all of that at South Shore Hospital. Mm-hmm. It's a different venue, but I love South Shore Hospital, actually. I mean, they just have afforded us the ability to attend births in whatever manner we would like to accommodate the woman, the family's wishes, within confines, but not very many, and it's been a very, very, very nice place to birth if you are going to birth in a hospital.
Well, I see this as really, in a way, a revolutionizing process that you've really brought to the light of day here for us, because I go back to the days when there was no such option available, mm-hmm. and where women essentially, were not given the luxury of options or alternative options, and were simply kind of driven through a system that was the only system that there was, and hardly reasonable when you consider that it's women who are having children, and back in those days, only men who were delivering those children, mm-hmm. and there was a disparity in the entire process. And in many cases, I think that it was part of a very old world. Mm-hmm. And I think, you're representative of a very cutting-edge sort of revolutionizing mm-hmm. of something that really was in desperate need of some sensitivity, and I think at least to come in with, the whole concept of giving women options, if nothing else.
Yeah. Well, although it's in danger.
Really?
Well, we had spoken of the high cesarean rate, and I've seen something I think is very sinister evolving, and that is because the medical field, people in the medical field, healthcare providers, mm-hmm. Some of whom are physicians, are afraid of litigation. They use their, some, not all, there are some who will use their position of power to basically railroad women into C-sections.
Right.
with fear, you wouldn't, you don't want to have problems the rest of your life because you had a vaginal delivery, now, do you? Vaginal birth after cesarean, is it you were going to talk about that, Annie?
We can hold that just for 1 second. Larry, we've got to pay a couple bills here, and we'll be back with Annie and Agnes in just a moment. Stay right where you are.
WATD's Candida Mamet from Healthy Living Magazine presents the 7th annual LunaFest Film Festival. LunaFest is a national traveling festival of short films by, for, and about women. Each ticket sold raises money for Breast Cancer Fund and local nonprofit organizations. Join us Thursday, May 15th, 6 to 10 p.m. at the Duxbury Performing Arts Center. Tickets are $20 online, $25 at the door. To register, log on to healthylivingvideo.com or call 781-834-2728.
Hi, this is Catherine from Jarrow Formulas. We're happy to announce our new partnership with Dr. Mark Mincola. When we started out in this industry, our intentions were to bring good quality nutrition, cutting-edge science, and reasonably priced products to the market, and also encourage people to take an active role in their own health and wellness. Jarrow Formulas has been in business for over 20 years and is considered an industry leader. Jarrow is incredibly active in consumers' rights to access dietary supplements and creating good quality manufacturing standards for our industry. When we first met Dr. Mincola, we knew that we had a true partner and an ally in the mission of creating a happy, healthy, and wealthy New England through the sharing of knowledge and enthusiasm for health and healing. And we're excited for the world of knowledge that there is that we can share with you all as we take this journey together with great partners, great energy, and looking forward to a great future for all of those that are encouraged to come along.
Alrighty, welcome back. We've enjoyed the company of Annie Massad and Agnes Densmore, both certified nurse midwives, and we've been talking a lot about their wonderful profession. As well, we've been discussing the upcoming May 24 Women's Health Expo at the Heinz Convention Center, and you'll both be there in attendance.
Right.
Yes.
We'll have our name tags on.
And that should be a very special event. Anything you'd like to say about that event at all?
Well, part of the beginning part, between 9 and 11, actually, there'll be one section on just how to become a midwife and what actually midwives actually do. So it's encouraging any person who might be interested in becoming a midwife to come and talk to other midwives in a more intimate level. So that's 9 to 11. It's called a free interactive career event for students and aspiring midwives, and that's at the Heinz Convention in room 201.
And then there's Healthy Living Theater, which will feature presentations from experts including Hank Philippi Ryan of Channel 7 and Judy Norsegan of Our Bodies and Ourselves. So,
fantastic.
Yeah. I hope I can get away from my booth.
And there's likely going to be some presentations, some folks are going to be delivering various talks.
Not delivering babies.
Delivering talks, but not babies.
Lots of films, and we'll be handing out some freebies too. So it'll be a great place to bring your family.
And let everybody know exactly when that is. That's going to be the 24th through the 29th. Is that right?
Oh, yep. Mm-hmm.
The Health Expo is just the 24th at Heinz Convention Center, 10 a.m. to 4.
Right. But the educational and midwife meeting will be for the whole week, the 23rd through the 29th.
And, I think the idea, too, comes up that women who really want to know more about what it feels like to engage in a process with other women who are focused on really helping them to understand more about their health potential. Not just the delivery itself. There's so much more to it. And I think the idea of a woman saying, geez, I'd really like to spend time with a woman who is an expert at helping me learn more about myself. Right. And there's a certain degree of, I guess I'd use the word coaching to your work, is there not?
Well, yeah. Definitely. I think, it's just a privilege to be in an environment that's so personable, and it makes, and I feel like I can make a difference in a woman's experience as an advocate, as a support person, as someone who's going to be there to listen to her, to help her make decisions, informed decisions. And informed decisions to me is, telling them the facts, the benefits, the risks.
Well, and throughout the entire experience, I'm sort of, I'm really convinced, I guess I'd say, that there's a tremendous amount of education and inspiration that takes place through that entire process.
Right.
And it varies for whoever the person is, whoever the family is.
Right.
So it's just a variety.
Well, and that's the other important word, that there's an individual process here, that it's not one size fits all.
Not at all. No.
Right. Exactly. I think the highest compliment ever paid me and all midwives really was by a patient of mine. She was young, 32 years old, and diagnosed with cancer. And, I saw her periodically for her checkups with me, and asked her somewhere during that process how she was doing, and she said, I'm going to be fine because the oncologist has a midwife that works with him. And I thought, really? Midwife working with an oncologist? But what she meant was that there was a nurse practitioner who was going to walk through the whole experience with her of cancer and give her everything that she needed to navigate all the ins and outs of that. And it really just brought home to me really what my role was.
Oh, it's a powerful role, no question about that. The other thing that I think we should probably ask you gals, is there any kind of, toll-free numbers, websites, anything that anybody that's listening at home can kind of do a little bit of searching and a little bit of follow-up work on midwifery or the convention, et cetera,
right,
or your work?
Midwife.org. Basically.
Yeah, right.
www.midwife.org. I know my practice has a website, which is southshoremidwifery.com. And Annie?
It's bostonmedicalcenter.org, I think it is. But, just Google Boston Medical and Center, and you'll get the website. And then you can click on the practitioners, and you'll see us all there.
And if you come to the Women's Health Expo, they have a directory.
We'll have a booth there.
Right, and there's a directory of midwives, and midwife.org can direct you to midwives in your area.
So once again, that's www.midwife.org. That's easy enough. Any final parting words that you'd like to share, either of you?
We just really went on the surface, didn't we? There's just so much to talk about, and it was so it's just great to be able to talk to you and the public about our profession and how important it is for us personally and for other women and society on the whole. So,
Agnes?
I just view myself as empowering women in the area of their health care, which really extends to all other areas of their being. And I actually think it's a good model for all health care. I don't think it should just be for women. I think all health care providers should be about that.
All about empowering people to empower themselves.
Right.
I really do.
Mutual responsibility.
You got it right on the money there.
Mutual responsibility, mutual care. Yep.
There's no question about it. Once again, we've had a wonderful conversation this evening with Annie Massett and Agnes Densmore, both certified nurse midwives.